As a lot of you know, I've been traveling for 3 weeks. I just arrived home yesterday, and part of it was business, part of it was for fun. I was in Hawaii for a week, and I was in San Diego for the leadership retreat for the leadership conference for Beachbody. And I was at the Eric. Can you guys all mute your lines?
Can you give her some Addo?
How much? Like 10 mil?
12 mils, I think.
12 mil?
Oh. I'm going to mute everybody because it's a lot of feedback. If you need to talk, you can always just click on your face and then unmute yourself. If you're on the phone, I'll unmute it when I open up the floor for questions. Okay, so as you know, I was traveling for 3 weeks. I just got home, so I'm still trying to settle in. I was in Hawaii for a week. I was in San Diego for the leadership retreat for the weekend, and then I spent a couple days with Raina in the better?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, is the fan distracting?
I was making me motion sickness. I can't see it now. I'm good.
I'll just turn it off because otherwise you won't be able to see my face. Okay. And then I went to do a Beachbody shake and share with Raina in LA, which went really well. And then we also did a shake and share with Lisa in Hawaii, which went really well. So if you're struggling with your business, that's definitely something to consider. And I'm going to start doing more of those in my local area. I've already committed myself to that. I also went to the Eric Worre GoPro Mastery event that had several network marketing professionals sharing their experiences and their stories. Brian Carruthers, who's the author of several network marketing books, was there. Tony Robbins, Eric Worre, obviously, and there was people that I'd never heard of, but they're rising stars in the industry. And this event was a game changer for me because Beachbody focuses on us building Beachbody. And this event was more geared towards, now I have to open the window because now I'm hot. Hopefully the wind doesn't kill you. This one was more geared towards the profession in general. And I would say the overall theme of it was mindset, which I know a lot of us know that mindset it can be a problem, or it can be, I'm muting you, Cass, or it can be something that works for you. And we'll talk about that in the presentation. But before I get to that, I wanted to go ahead and make some announcements. Actually, let me share my screen and I'll open up the presentation, and then I have the announcements listed in there. So this is just the Tony Robbins portion of the mastery event. If there's a way for me to make this small. Okay, there we go. And first off, I want to do that back there. This one. I wanted to congratulate everybody on their Success Club points on their life-changing board. So far, Natalie Hopkins, Sabrina Tajtaz, Sharina Woodward, Brandy Gerald, Tracy Vidal, Jesus Lopez, Mary Ann Raphael, Terry Zeller, Lisa Hoffman, Michelle Alazam, Chris Street, Charisse Lane, Cassie Bronke, Maria DeVoe, Joanne Van Ostrand, Melissa Johnson, Paulina Ferreira, Alfred Caminos, Annie Love, Nicole Gamrett, Kaylee Vandervalk, Linda Romero, Raina Luther, Deb Griffith, Fernando Morales, Jackie Jimenez, Rachel Ponce, Carrie Riddle, Anita Grizzard, Leslie Nelson, Karen Gilliam, and Stacy Booker have all changed at least one life. So they're on the life-changing board. They're the one life changed. And then Tanasia Street, Nadia Camino, Sarah Nill, Jennifer Morrow, Nika Cleary, and Stephanie Kathman, and Suzanne Pizanka, and Christine Belush. I probably killed a lot of those names, but they've changed at least 3 to 5 lives, and they've already earned Success Club for this month. So congratulations on that for earning Success Club. As far as next year's GoPro Eric Worre Mastery event, I committed to purchasing 10 tickets to the event, because Kevin and Milan Jensen decided to purchase 100 tickets, and I'm going to be giving those away as incentives, but it's going to be before the end of this year, so people can have it on their calendar and be able to make arrangements for that to happen. The next year's event is from December 1st through the 4th, and I think there's probably going to be 500 or more Beachbody coaches there, because several Beachbody coaches purchased the package of 100 tickets. It's way better than the Danny Johnson stuff, which I thought Danny Johnson was awesome, but I thought this was way better. Coach Summit, I know you've seen me posting about it every week. I would love people that have had an experience with Summit that went last year or the year before to make some videos and share their experience at Summit, what they got out of it, and why they think it's important for coaches to go. I love to share those in the team so people can hear from other coaches every week, so they can hear why it's important to be at that event. And anybody that's willing to participate in that, shoot me a message or go ahead and create the video and post it up on YouTube, and I would love to share your videos with the rest of the team. I know that I posted my video, but I think I only have 1 or 2. So I think it would be great to hear from some different perspectives of why that event is so important and why it's really important to get there. One thing that we did learn at the GoPro Mastery event, well, one thing that Eric Worre kept saying was, you're getting people to events, your company convention, you can count basically $1,000 per person that you have at your company convention. So if you want to be a $100,000 a year annual earner, get 100 people in your downline to the company convention, and that will be the fastest way for you to grow into over $100,000 a year income. So events are really important. That's it for announcements. And I will start the presentation that I wish I could see your guys' faces while I present, but I guess I can't. It's kind of stinky. I wish I had 2 screens so I could have like your faces on one. But anyway, so Tony Robbins shared with us a lot about mindset. It started with, man, I'm cutting in and out. Let me see if I can mute. Somebody's texting me telling me that I'm cutting in and out. I'll try muting the rest of the lines. If you guys aren't muted, can you please go ahead and mute? Because sometimes when somebody's on, can you hear me better now? Is it better? Yes, nod, yes or no? No, it's okay. Okay. Well, I hope it's so windy here. I'm guessing maybe that's why the wind is making me cut in and out, but if it becomes a problem, just let me know. If, just keep your line muted, because sometimes when there's 2 lines that aren't unmuted, that's why it happens like that, I've noticed. Okay, so back to screen sharing. Technology is working against us. All right, I guess I can make it even smaller. There we go. All right. So we talked about goal setting, and Tony Robbins actually just touched on this. Eric Worre actually spent more time on it, and he's actually I'm going to talk more about that, what he shared with us over the next coming weeks. I think I have enough content from this event to do the team calls for the rest of the year and be able to teach you all what I learned at this event. And I think it was that important. Things that I learned, I think that they should all be taught to all of you. So you need to know where you're going if you want to get there, if you're going to get there. A lot of people in this business come in and they're like just working it, to get to wherever it is that they consider success, but they have no idea what that is. Eric Worre actually spends time in December planning for the next 18 months of the year, because in this business, he says that your calendar is your boss. Your calendar is your boss. So you base your business around your calendar. He said that when he finishes his planning, he has a book this thick. I don't know if you can see me because I can't see myself, but of planning for the next 18 months of his goals and what he's going to do with his businesses. Mind you, He's got several businesses. He's not in network marketing anymore, but that's how much time he spends. So 10 years from now, you'll surely have arrived, but where is it that you'll have arrived? That depends on what goals you're setting for yourself and what vision you're creating in your life. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where that is, how are you ever going to get there? Tony Robbins mentioned, most of us overestimate what we can do in a year, but massively underestimate what we can do in a decade. So a lot of people in this business come in and think they're going to blow it up in 1 year. And then when that doesn't happen, they get very discouraged. But what they don't realize is if they keep doing it and doing it and doing it, eventually success will come. Goal setting. This is the 11 areas that Eric Worre sets goals for the entire year: personal growth, habits, activity, recruiting, customers, rank, income, events, artistic, contribution, and other, which I'm going to go over those in another call. So we'll talk more about goal setting in the upcoming weeks, but I just wanted you to have an idea of what's going to be coming up so you can get in your mind that maybe if you don't have any goals set, you can start thinking about those. Now, okay, here we go. Now, Eric mentioned that there's 7 steps to this business, but Tony believes that there's an 8th step, and that is becoming the master of your emotional and mental state. So the best way to overcome your struggles in this business is through activity and personal development. So if you're frustrated, if you're feeling like this business is not working for you and you're not enrolling anyone, then it's time to go back to your personal development and also engage in the producing activities in this business. Because when you engage in the activities, you're going to wipe away all that fear that this isn't going to work for you. And it's going to get rid of some of that frustration because you're going to be controlling the controllable. You're going to be doing everything that you can to move your business forward, knowing that you can't be attached to the outcome, but all you can control is your actions. So if you're having trouble, personal development and then engaging back in the business. 80% of success, this is according to Tony Robbins, is most of this, I'm just going to preempt this, with most of this presentation is Tony Robbins, verbatim word for word, the notes that I took. So I don't have to keep saying it. 80% of success is psychology and 20% of success is mechanics. But inspiration without action means nothing. So what he's saying is you can know every single thing, all the details in the world, the mechanics of how to build a successful business. But if you're not in the right emotional and mental state, you're not going to be building your business the way that you're going to want to be building your business. And on the flip side, you can be inspired and you can be doing amazing things, but if you're not taking any action on that, then nothing's going to happen. So it's all about energy. If you think that you should be having smooth sailing from day one in this business, then your biggest problem is that you think you shouldn't have any. Being perfect is the lowest feeling in the world because it creates feeling bad, and other people will actually feel that from you. Being perfect is totally from the ego, and it's the start that stops most people because they want to be perfect with everything that they do in the business. So if you let go of the need for perfection and just engage in the activities, then you will be able to move your business forward. Your energy that you put into your business will immediately affect your performance more than your skills. So again, you can have all the skills in the world. You can be the best business owner, the best closer, the best prospector, the best salesman, the best everything. But if you're in a negative, shitty attitude, your business is going to reflect that. So to transform anything in your business, it starts with transforming yourself first. Energy is not something that you can build or pursue. You can't chase after it. It's a state of being. And I'm going to go into more detail. So as you'll see, all the slides, I've kept energy on there because it all relates to the energy that you're putting into your business. So a lot of people come in and they think there's a magic formula. They think that once they hit 5-star diamond and they get on the wall, then they get the magic formula to the business. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is none. If you're looking at other top coaches and teams and comparing yourself to them and thinking, oh, maybe if I would have went with this person, or maybe if I had this system, or maybe if I did this, it's a big fat waste of your time. And the reason I can say that is because I did it myself for a very long time. And it took energy away from what I could have been doing to transform the lives of others. And it put that energy towards negativity, comparing myself to others and feeling bad about myself because I wasn't living up to whatever they were living up to. So the secret of living is giving. Stop focusing on what you are or aren't getting and focus on what you can give. Add value. Remember, this business is about helping other people. So if you're in the business and you think, I want to help people, but my business isn't going the way I want it to, and you're getting frustrated and you're getting angry and you're having a negative attitude, that's going to keep reflecting in your business. He actually shared a story of how he hit rock bottom. He made millions of dollars. He spent every single penny. He spent every single thing that he had. He actually said he had about $20 left to his name, and he thought, I'm going to go to an all-you-can-eat salad bar, and I'm going to fill up my plate, and I'm going to eat everything that I can. I'm just going to carb load, or not a salad bar. He had something else. He said salad bar, but I think he had something else too. He said he was going to carb load, he was going to fill up his stomach, and he's going to, that was the last money that he had to his name. And he ended up going into the restaurant and eating all the food, and he saw this little boy that was like 8 or 9 years old, and he was opening the door for his mother. And he just saw something in this little boy that reflected, he thought, an honorable young man. So he ended up going up to the kid and saying, wow, I can really see something in you. You're really, you're great. You're taking care of your mom. You're taking care of your lady. You're taking her out to dinner. And he was like, well, I'm not taking her out to dinner. I don't have any money. I'm a kid. Without even thinking about it, Tony took the last $14 or whatever he had after paying for his meal out of his pocket and gave it to the kid and left the restaurant with zero money, $0 to his name. And he felt that at that moment, he felt the most free he had ever felt in his entire life, because he could just give. Money didn't matter to him anymore. But it took him hitting rock bottom for him to recover from that and to change his thinking. So what energy are you putting? Scarcity or abundance? Scarcity mentality will push people away. So feeling frustrated, putting yourself down, getting angry will all show up in your prospects. A lot of times you're feeling frustrated because you're like, maybe you're not talking to enough people, and then the business isn't working for you, and you're thinking, there's not enough people. There's not enough people. There's plenty of people that need our help. And all we have to do is find them and help them. But if you're getting frustrated and you're putting pressure on it, and you're feeling like, oh my God, I got to scoop these people up before they're gone, then people are going to feel that and they're going to run in the other direction. It's like a guy or a girl that's way too into you and you're totally not into them. You know that person that keeps texting you like selfies and you're like, oh my God, seriously? But you'd rather be with the guy that doesn't want to pay attention to you or the girl that doesn't want to pay attention to you. So abundance comes when you let go of scarcity. Even though you might not believe it, life is always working for you. Even the negative things are always working for you. You might not see them in the moment, but you're going to see them maybe eventually. I've had the most negative situations happen to me and be like, I don't understand why this is happening. And then maybe weeks or months later, I've been like, wow, that's why that happened. And it's been an eye-opening experience. So if you'll just be open to the fact that even the perceived negative experiences are working for you, then you can have more of a positive experience in your life. The easiest way to build your business is to just be real and don't try so hard. So if you're pushing and you're feeling like frustrated and angry and upset and every day sucks and you have a negative, shitty attitude all day in your business, then what fun is that? I mean, it really isn't it's not gonna grow that way. And the reason I can say this is because, again, I was there. I was like this. And at the end of last year, I, earned a lead or whatever, and it wasn't everything that I thought it was gonna be. So I changed my focus and I had to refigure out my why this year. And that's why I was like revamping everything, because everything changed for me when I just realized that it was about people and it wasn't about numbers. It wasn't about rank. It wasn't about elite. It wasn't about how much money I made. It was about helping people, truly helping people. It's loving what you do and helping people. When you're so attached to being successful and closing prospects, they're going to feel that and they're going to run in the other direction. And it's happened to me where somebody said they didn't want to enroll with me because I was too pushy. Not in a really long time, because I haven't been that way. Because when I talk to people, I'm talking to so many people. I'm trying to see if we're a good fit for each other. Are we going to be, at this point, I can be more selective in who I talk to. The only mistake I made is I wish I would have been more selective in the beginning and realize that we are offering them something really positive. We're offering them an opportunity to change their life. We are valuable. We are giving them something valuable ourselves. So we want to make sure that we're a good fit together. So you're talking to them, and you don't have to take everybody. You can take quality people and not focus on quantity. You can recruit, a couple people every month, and you can grow a very successful business if you really focus on building those relationships with people and finding the right people that are going to want to work with you for the rest of your life and help you grow this business. So this business is a 4-year plan, degree plan. Why is it that when you go to college, you will go to school and spend 4 years earning your degree in order to graduate and earn a $50,000 a year job, or a $100,000 a year job, or $150,000 or $200,000 or whatever it is, $25,000 a year job. You go to school for 4 years to get your degree, paying out of pocket, not earning any money. But yet, when you join network marketing or Beachbody, you think that you should be successful in less than a year. If you treat this as if it's a 4-year degree, then really your first 4 years is learning the business. There's a bonus that we get to earn money while we're learning the business, but you can't expect to have the same level of income after 1 year as you would after you graduated from a 4-year degree. So treat your business like you're in it for 4 years. It took me 4 years for me to be able to, replace my nurse anesthetist salary. And if I would have given up before that, there was many times that I could have, because there was many times that I was frustrated. But I knew that if I stayed committed and I kept doing personal development and I kept changing my focus, and eventually I would be successful. And that's the thing. I never gave up. Anyone can be successful if they continue to be consistent in the 3 vital behaviors long enough. There's nothing special about me. The only difference is that I've been doing this longer. So what will influence us? Patterns. This is what I've been studying for the last couple of years. So you're programmed at a very young age how to emotionally respond to situations as an adult. And it becomes a pattern. So you think it defines you, but it really isn't you. It's just a pattern that you created when you were a child. And you do have the ability to change that at any time. But what stops you from moving forward is that you have this old story running that isn't even currently happening to you in your situation, but you keep bringing it back from the past and recreating it. I'm going to play a recording in a little bit. I decided that I'm going to save it to the end, but it's going to go into more detail about the pattern. So here's an example. Money stories. I was raised, we didn't have money. When the bills would come, I remember my dad being like, the bills, we can't pay the bills, and just getting really upset and getting really frustrated, and just, I could feel it. I mean, I was a kid. I can remember this as a little kid, hearing my dad, the bills. Every time they would come, oh, we got more mail, it must be more bills, And I mean, I'm a little kid. So I learned at an early age that we don't have money. So I have this story that was operating when I was a little kid. And actually, my parents spent a lot of time trying to make money so that they could just pay for things. And they spent a lot of energy focusing on that versus focusing on their kids, which they did the best they could with what they had. But I have this old story that's way back here from when I was a little kid. And when I came into this business, I was operating from that same story. I was operating from, oh my God, I got to do it. There's never enough. I got to make the money. And all frustrated and pushing people to do what I wanted them to do for me, because it was all about me. It was all about the ego. So when you start to heal that programming and you start to heal that pattern through, for me, it was shadow work. There may be other teachers out there that can teach you the same thing, but that's what's worked for me. When you heal that story, then you can start to create something different in this present moment. But if you keep continuing to operate from those stories, then you're going to keep recreating the same pattern in your present moment. So if you have a money story, which they talked about this at the GoPro event, they talked about your money stories and whether you were raised, maybe your parents were the opposite. Maybe they spent tons of money. Maybe you had money and it was free flowing. So maybe you're that way. Maybe you can't save anything. So even if you do really well in this business, maybe you end up spending it all. But it's good to know where that money story is. So, and the other thing that will influence us is our emotional state. So it controls what you feel and what we do. But we can change our emotional state, and we can help others change theirs by asking them questions. I'm going to go into more detail about how you can change the emotional state when I play the recording. There are 42,000 words to describe emotions, but there are really only 2, love or fear. So all the negative emotions are coming from ego and they're coming from fear. So if you are operating from a negative place right now, and you're frustrated with your business, and you're angry, and you're not happy, and you're not enjoying what you're doing, and you're pissed off all the time, and you have a negative, shitty attitude, when you finally get to where you want to go in this business, you're just going to get more of what you have right now. Success and money is not going to change that situation for you. You'll just get more of what doesn't make you happy. So if you're a person that's not succeeding by all standards, whatever that is, whatever success looks like to, society or Beachbody or whoever's creating those standards, but are happy as hell, people will feel that, and they'll be much more likely to want to join you and allow you to add value to their life than if you're successful by all standards and you're negative all the time. Who's going to want to be working with someone that's successful but negative all the time? And I can speak to all of these things. They were me. Every single thing was me. But I have a different approach to my business now because I've healed those old stories, those old patterns through the work that I've done. So if you're waiting to get into a certain place in your business to feel happy, then you're just going to keep struggling. And I can tell you this from experience because I know a lot of you know this, that I got to Elite last year and it sucked because nobody was there with me. I pushed people. It was very negative. I've shared that story multiple times. And I got to that place and I realized that I still wasn't happy because it wasn't about that. It was about what was inside of me and healing those things that were inside of me. So in order to shift your state, in order to shift the energy from a negative place to a positive place, you can do two things: shift your state or shift your focus. So it's just like when you're lifting weights and you start and you can't put up that many pounds. Maybe you're using 2.5 pounds and then you go up to 5 and then you go up to 7.5. You're building up your muscle by doing repetition. It's the same thing with building your emotional muscle. So if you're in that negative, place, and you keep allowing that, you keep, creating more of that and letting it into your life and mentally masturbating and go over and over and over and over into that negative thing and creating stories that aren't even real, then you're going to keep bringing yourself more of that. But any unused emotion shrinks. 3.
Leaving.
3.
There.
I just heard your thing go off. Okay, we're good. I think we're good now. Okay, so when you're stuck in a negative emotional state, it is always about you and never about the circumstances surrounding you in your life. So a lot of times you want to be like, oh my gosh, I'm negative and I'm in this funk because my dog is sick and my kids are sick and then, they threw up this morning and I had to clean it. And then it's never about that. It starts from inside of you. But you do have the ability to change it. That's the beauty of it. You have the ability to change it. So to change your state, you have to divorce your emotion. You have to talk to yourself and understand that story is a bullshit story. And that it's something that's operating that's not there anymore. You can't try to change it by changing your state of mind. You have to change it through changing your physical body and your psychology. So you can try taking 5 deep breaths, slow in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, I'm going to play the recording later. So I'm not an expert in this, but this is what Tony shared. And this goes along with everything that I've been doing the last 2 years to shift everything in my life. And I have a calling to pay forward what I've learned. So that's why I'm sharing this all with you. I'm just, like I said, I'm not an expert, but this is what I've learned and I thought it was important. Or you can change your focus. So whatever you focus on expands. So if you're like, ever notice when you roll out of bed and you're like, you stub your toe, you're like, oh my God, it's going to be such a bad day. And then you keep, everything just keeps snowballing and you have just a negative day. Because when you focus on that negativity, you will create more of that. And that will be how you feel, even if it isn't true. So have you ever text someone or called someone and you left them a message or whatever, and they didn't call you back, and you started making up this whole story about that they're mad at you, or you did something wrong, or, you know, you start creating this whole story, and they never even got your message, but you went and assumed that they are ignoring you for whatever reason. And in reality, you could have easily just sent them a message and said, hey, did you get my message? And you would have known that they didn't. But you're sitting in there in that story, and you're getting more and more pissed off and frustrated because you're creating something that isn't even really there. So in order to be a good leader, leadership essentially is influence. But in order to influence others positively, we must first influence ourselves positively. So if we're going into our business every day and we're frustrated and we're angry and we're like, my business is not going where I want it to go and I'm not having the success that I want to have, then you're going to be projecting all of that onto every person that you talk to. So you have the ability to influence others' thoughts, feelings, and emotions depending on whatever emotional state you're in. So what kind of emotional state do you want to be in when you're going into conversations with people? And if you're feeling like you are negative a lot of the time, then you need to work on the scarcity mentality and letting go of the attachment that that person is somebody that's going to earn you Success Club points or earn you your $50 from their challenge pack. And you need to remember why you're talking to them, because you want to help them. So if you want to influence someone, you need to influence them in the way that they are already influenced and not the way you are influenced. So it's like people have their love languages or whatever, if you believe that. But you know, you may try to help someone in a way that would help you, but it's backfiring on you because that isn't what they needed. So you have to listen to people and really feel what they're feeling and help to influence them in the way that they already can be influenced. So the more you use your gifts the Creator has given you, the more you will experience those gifts. So again, if you're going to add value to the lives of others, the more you focus on adding value to the lives of others and not, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to be here and I need to be this rank and I need to make this money, the more your gifts are going to shine through and the more you're going to have experiences with those gifts. So there's 2 skills for an extraordinary life, according to Tony. The science of achievement. So taking what you envision and making it real, taking the invisible desire you have and converting it to the life you live. So we talk about vision boards. We talk about figuring out what it is that you want and where you see your life going in 5, 10, 15 years. So do you, in your state right now, in your present moment, is this the way you want to continue to go into the future? Because it is telling of what's going to be in the future if you continue on the same path that you're on. Or do you want to shift it? Do you want to change it? Do you want to shift out of the emotional state that you're in and shift out of the current pattern that you're in? Repetition is the mother of all skill. So you're rewarded in public for what you do in private. You know, gold medals aren't earned by the day of the race. They're earned by the people that practice. So that's the same with this business. Like I said, anybody can be successful if they continue to be consistent in the 3 vital behaviors long enough. And if you're looking at these other coaches and saying, I want to be a 10-star diamond, I want to be a 15-star diamond, I want to be a 6-figure income earner, and you have one name on your business activity tracker or 2, or if you have like mostly holes and you have just a few, then you're not doing the activities that are going to lead you to being a 10-star diamond or a 15-star diamond, because you're not talking to enough people. You're not helping enough people for that to happen. So you can't expect to have a 6-figure income business if you're not doing the activities that are going to lead to a 6-figure income business. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, because remember, the personal development is the most important component of the business, but it's the one that people forget or leave out the most. If there was anything that I learned from this weekend, it's take your personal development seriously. Start off every morning doing personal development, something positive, getting yourself in a positive emotional and physical state. And the art of fulfillment is the second skill. And he talked about success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So as he said, if you're not happy with where you are right now, and then you get to this other place, you're still not going to be happy. If you're enjoying the struggle right now, in this moment, then you're already successful. Because that's what it's going to be a struggle. This business is not going to be easy. It's not going to be, for me, it wasn't anyway. Maybe Other people it is because maybe they come in with a more positive emotional state. I wasn't in a positive emotional state, so it was a struggle for me. I was pushing and muscling and trying to make it happen and forcing it and pressuring it. And this year for me hasn't been like that. It's been fun because I changed my focus. I changed the way that I was doing my business. I shifted how I was treating people. I shifted my focus when I was talking to people, and I focused on them and adding value to their lives, and not how many successful points I have, or if I'm going to be an elite coach, or what rank I am, because none of that matters if you forget about why you're doing it, which is the lives behind all those points. So put yourself in a positive state every day with personal development in the morning. Now I do it every day, first thing in the morning. And this was just a side note. We don't need an excuse to celebrate or feel angry. So we don't need an excuse to have those feelings. They're already inside of us. We just find things to bring them out in our present moment. A little more on the law of familiarity. So if you ever, he shared the story about when you buy a new car and you're so in love with that new car, you just spent $50,000 on a brand new car and it's your baby. And then the first time that car gets scratched, you're like, ugh, and you're freaking out and you're all upset. And then you take it, another year, it gets another scratch, another year, it gets another scratch. And 5 years later, it's all scratched up and it's no longer a used car. So if you own anything long enough, or you have anything long enough, or you do anything long enough, we tend as people to take it for granted. Have you noticed sometimes when you meet your partner or whatever, at the beginning you have these big cute little things that you think are so exciting and cute, and then after a while you find it ridiculously annoying? And the only reason you're rejecting that part in the other person is because that's a part of you that you haven't accepted about yourself yet. But it goes along with the law of familiarity. So a way to circumvent this, I guess, is what he said, was to trade your expectation for appreciation. So instead of expecting things to be this XYZ way, just appreciate the way things are right now in this moment. Your adventure in this business doesn't have to be hitting a mark. It can be enjoying the adventure every day. And I really, truly believe that that's possible for anyone if you'll be willing to invest the time in yourself and do personal development. So going back to our why, because we all have heard this a million times and how important it is. And at the end of his little Tony's thing, he said, your why needs to be bigger than yourself. And I added in a few more things. It needs to be bigger than what kind of car you want to own, what kind of repairs you want to do to your house, how much money you want to make, or how do you want to be recognized for a certain rank. You have to find something larger than yourself that you want to serve. So if you were at the point where you're like, oh my gosh, all my financial needs are met by this business, you're making $500,000 a year, or whatever it is that you need to have that, maybe $50,000 a year meets all your financial needs. Where would you want to donate money to? What cause would you want to be a part of? Would you want to have an orphanage in Africa? Or Eric Worre donates hearing aids to some population. I don't know what it is. And everyone that went up there has some type of charity or some type of organization that they're helping. So find something even deeper than that, just those material things that you want to have, deeper than your why, a motive that has something to do, that's something bigger than yourself. And as I spoke about this last year, my why was to quit my job and replace my salary. And that happened for me. And then it was kind of like, okay, well, it didn't happen in a positive way. It happened in a really negative way because I pushed and frustrated and roughed it and forced it and pressured it to happen. Somehow it still happened for me, but it wasn't fun. And I got to the point where I was like, this isn't fun anymore. And I don't even know if I want to do this. So I had to go back and I had to redefine my why. And I had to realize that it isn't about all of those things. It's about helping other people heal, not just physically, but from the inside out. Heal their emotional state, heal their patterns, heal all these things that are very negative in their lives. So find joy today while building for tomorrow. And I'm going to play now the recording. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. and then I'll have time for questions. Wow, that was a long call. I couldn't see the time. I couldn't see any of your faces.
Shadow work
Can you guys
is
hear
for
this?
everybody, but not everyone will choose to do it.
Shoot. Can you hear it? Yeah? Okay. Hang on 1 second. Something happened. I think I must have hit it when I...
Shadow work is for everybody, but not everyone will choose to do it. Because basically, you have to feel that there's something more than having the negative experience with yourself and others, and there is. It's dealing with a part of us that we do not see because we have repressed it, not liking it, and that has kept it working at an undercurrent in everything we do. So it doesn't really matter what we do, what we say, if we're successful or we're not. There's an undercurrent that we're not aware of that's operating, that is making choices for us, unbeknownst to us. So when we choose to look for that part of us, which is a darker, unloved, rejected aspect, whether it be your hate, your envy, your insecurity, your low self-esteem, your jealousy, your rage, all of our undesirable traits need to be purged in order to see them operating. And we only can do that through a guide that sees beyond the surface. And there are many around. We just have to be willing and committed to take that journey, knowing that we will come out to the other side in the light. And then we're able to gauge where we are emotionally for the rest of our lives by the way we feel. And we don't have to act out anymore because we're gauging the way we feel and we take care of it before we make choices or speak. And that changes us from the inside, which changes our life on the outside. Our experiences improve, our relationships improve, we attract different things, we create better things, we do not want to suffer anymore, the suffering was enough. So we are able to carry on with a new view and feeling about ourselves. And this is what it's about. It's about us becoming a positive energy system by seeing how we're operating before we actually make a choice or act. And that changes the game of life, and it changes the game of the planet as well. A beautiful intention to become a healing force, not acting out from your dark, rejected, repressed, and unloved self. Okay, I think that's good. Have a great day. Love ya. See ya.
So this presentation was from the Tony Robbins presentation at the GoPro Mastery event, the reason that I wanted to share that is because they spent a lot of time on mindset and emotional state and all those things in this event, and I kept thinking like, wow, I know all these things and I actually know them deeper than what they're even saying, because they stay very superficial and very physical. And why I know that and understand it is because I've been studying this work for the last 2 years with the shadow work with my now, who's become someone who's my really great friend, Julia. And my mission, like I said, is to help people heal from the inside out. And I had to go through all of that, all of those crazy, frustrated, angry, negative, shitty attitude times to get to the place where I am today, where I truly, authentically want to really help people. And so my friend Julia and my teacher will do a free 45-minute consultation with anyone that wants to assess, you know, where they're at in their emotional state and talk to her about their patterns and whatever comes up for you in that time. And so if you want that information, I can send you to her website. But there's a few others on here. Joanne, you know, has been doing the work for about a year now. Cassie's been doing the work for a year? 1 year. Laura Costanza is been doing the work for like 10 years because her and Julia are best friends, and you know, her and I probably have one of the most solid relationships that I have with anyone in my life, just like with Julia, because we are healing ourselves. So we're able to have really positive, awesome relationships with people. So anyway, I would like to open up the floor. Anyone that wants to ask questions or share or has anything, just anything you want to do, share or ask questions. I guess I can unmute all the lines. If you want to, I can unmute the phone. If you're on the phone and you're not going to say anything, you can just mute your phone. And then if you're on the computer, all you have to do is click your face and you can unmute yourself.
I have a question. It's not necessarily about like this tonight, although I feel like you were speaking directly to me. But can you talk about real quick, what is it? The thing that's coming up this coming month? It's like a team of 3. Like
yeah, I'll do a post in the group. I'll post in the team about that.
Okay.
I'd rather stick.
The first time I heard about it was.
I'll do a post. I'll do a post in the group, in the team group about that. It's the Fall Classic. I don't even know all the details, honestly, but I'd like to stick with what we're doing, what we're talking about now. You know, stick with where we're at, and I'll make a post about that for sure. I'll research it. But if you want to know, just go to FAQ and type in Fall Classic, and the FAQ will tell you everything that you need to know to register and everything for that. But I'll post it. I'll post it in the group.
It's kind of cool that this is what you hit on today, because I watch this channel called Be Living. Like, it's more on for background noise, but every now and then I catch a couple shows that actually I'm really engaged with. The whole channel like adds value to your life. It's healthy, fit lifestyles, not physically, but also emotionally, mentally. So it kind of teaches you to start to breathe, and we were talking about breathing and all that stuff. So anyways, on the Lisa Oz show today, Dr. Oz's wife is on there. She had Alan Fine. He is the author of You Already Know How Great You Are. And he talks a lot about the mindset, and he discusses what grow means, and it talks about goals, reality, options, and then way forward. So it just, for me, this conversation with you tonight is confirmation of being, you know, in that moment and learning that. And it's just like I am happy. Yeah, things are crazy and money's tight, but I am so happy. So I got confirmation tonight that I am on the right path. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not frustrated anymore. People around me might be, but I'm not. So I don't know. This is a really good meeting. I'm glad you did that. So thank you. But that, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next book I read.
Well, let me know how it is.
It sounded really good.
Let me know how you like it.
Yeah, for sure. I will, for sure. But thank you for doing this. It was a good one. I haven't either. He had some kind of accent. Maybe it was French. I don't know. But he seemed to be right on what we learned about, you know, as far as finding the best in us. And it's been there the whole time, and we got to get past all the things that we've created. And so pretty cool. So, okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Marissa, do you have those notes somewhere?
Oh, I can post it. Yeah, I can post it in the group. I'll post it in the team group. No problem. The slideshow.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. Really, it's a lot to chew on, definitely a lot to digest and a lot to work on. But I definitely have been changing the focus on helping people more, which has eliminated the whole pressure thing. So I'm there with you, Callie, and and just like it actually feels so liberating right now just to kind of focus on them. And that was my focus I decided that last month. And so coming into this month, that's what I was going to do. And then that's when I saw my success club kind of pick up. So yeah, I mean, I know that this kind of talk, like this kind of mindset change really is important for all of us as coaches. Because this will determine our future. I mean, where we're gonna go all together. We all need to be in the same wavelength or something like that. Or it's just watch the actual video, because I still have the video. I haven't seen Tony Robbins yet. I have the live stream recordings of the thing. So
You're gonna
I know. So yeah, thanks for the call.
So I'm here for. There is going to be some more tactical, application things in the next coming weeks, but I felt like this was the most important part of the weekend and of our businesses in general. So does anybody else want to share or have questions? Cassie's being all quiet. She's like, give me a side grin.
I'll share. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Jamie.
Okay. I want to say that I think it was really good content, and I like Eric War, and he's very, very good. The personal development really helps because every day on here tends to know when you're slacking in it. But for me, I have to do it every day because I work in an office with someone who's so negative that literally sucks and drains the energy out of me. So, for me, it's hard. It's like I got to get prepared because I work in an office. I'm a case manager, and my coworker, it's just the two of us, and she is like the total opposite from me. So it's so on point with, you have to be in the right mindset, and, also too with just life experiences that I've had. I used to come into work and people would say, how do you remain so positive when, I was in school trying to finish my master's degree. My mom had a double lung transplant. My daughter was in SVT. I was moving, building a house. And I'm like, I don't know. I just stayed focused and tried to have my mindset on the ultimate, the goal, what I was trying to do, and I was like, what other mindset should I have? I mean, yeah, all these things are going on, but, I don't know. Just, it does have a lot to do with how we're going to try to move forward in this business. And thanks for the presentation. It was good.
Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else want to share or have a question? Alrighty then. If anybody wants more information, reach out to me and I'll send you how you can be in touch with Julia. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Marissa.
Sleep well. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Night.